Hello, I come to you from my closet. My audio kept fucking up the last time that I tried to do this concept, so I'm hoping it works this time. But I thought that I would talk through some of the things that I like would and wouldn't wear at a concert, but doing that on its own feels very, very, very boring. So I thought about maybe like dressing up for some theoretical shows, some bands that I might never get to see ever. So that's kind of like what we're doing today. I've been to a lot of shows. I'm really lucky that I've gotten to see some really like legendary or really old bands, but there are bands that it would be like kind of impossible for me to see nowadays. So the first band that I want to talk about is not a band that is inactive in any way, shape, or form because it's Gym Shorts and they're super active nowadays. They do a lot of shows. They're releasing music like as we speak, basically. But they never leave the East Coast, like ever. I think they'll occasionally play like a Chicago show. And I do not live on the East Coast. I've seen them once in Texas. So I guess this doesn't count because I've already seen them live. But I was dressing for the headliner. I wasn't dressing for them. I just wanted to like show the process of how I would throw together an outfit for Gym Shorts and then kind of talk through why I do or don't pick certain things because as you can see, well, you can't even see it all, but I have a pretty expansive wardrobe. It goes even further back from what is in frame right now, and I have a lot of shoes, especially. So I'm gonna kind of talk through like why I would wear what I wear and why I would avoid maybe some more obvious choices like the platform. Really tall, really cool platforms, like literally within arm's reach. But I would never wear anything like that to a show because I don't want to break an ankle. And I also want the people behind me to be able to see. Not that I'm very tall, but I kind of want to match the vibe of like, I do have a tote bag from them. It's red with yellow print on it. And I might kind of go in that direction. Although their most recent EP with like the black and the white and the blue is also really, really cool. It's maybe not an EP, it might be a full album. I can't remember. I think the obvious shoe right away, like I want to wear these. My Docs are always like my go-to concert shoe, and granted these do have a little bit of a heel, but I don't think it's enough to one, break my ankle, and two, block anyone's view. I'm 5'1", so like adding 3.5 inches is not going to like make it impossible for the people behind me to see. If we're starting off with this and we're leaning into the silliness of the band, because nothing about Gym Shorts like takes itself seriously, I think I kind of want to go maybe in this direction. I just thrifted this. I'll show it in an October recap because I went to more shows this month than I expected to. But I think this might be fun. I kind of want to belt it or add a corset. I think that might be fun. One of the things you have to be thoughtful of at a show is too much hardware because a lot of the time hardware will set off a metal detector. I haven't had an issue with belts. None of my belts have ever set off a metal detector, so I don't think that'll be a problem. I could put it under like a dress. Let me see. Do you think that like a dress layered with the the card shirt or a mini skirt might be really, really cute? So we'll see. And also like I feel like it's just asking for like a short hemline. This is not like I'm not wearing pants with that. Do I want to look like I'm going to the disco? No. Not in a year where Panic at the Disco is touring. Well, I guess they're touring next year, but allegedly, theoretically. No one knows, but probably. Oh, wait. So I have this fake House of CB dress that I actually got at Marshall's. But I think this might be it. And then like, oh, red tights. Do we go red tights? Or is that leaning too hard into like Does this look a little bit too much like Vegas? Because you have to remember, Gym Shorts is an East Coast band. Does that feel a little bit too Vegas? Does that look like I'm gonna go gamble? Maybe I'll do something else that feels a little bit like gym shortsy to me is like not surfer. That's not the vibe I'm talking about and looking for. But like ultra casual and like laid back. You know what I mean? So I also could see myself, I know that this is like a different band's merch. The rule supposedly, some people are like, I only wear the band's merch to the show. And occasionally I do that. Sometimes I do that. But I am not like a do not wear the band's merch to the show. It needs to be another band and you have to wear merch. I am definitely not that person. Not shading anyone who's like that. My concert wife is like that. She goes to shows with me all the time. She's always in a different band's merch. But my sister is a if I had the band's merch, I'm wearing it type of person. So I'm always with someone who follows a rule, right? I don't often wear merch at all to shows because I'm always buying more merch anyway. But I think that even though this is people are ugly merch, I think it kind of fits the gym shorts vibe, right? And then I could wear it with the Docs. Maybe throw something in that has a little bit of yellow. I know I just said the Docs are asking for a short hemline, but is this very gym shorts? That's so gym shorts. Hold on. These pants are from Almighty, but I thrifted them, like tags still attached. Isn't that so cool? Yeah, so this will be our gym shorts fit. I am going to go ahead and pick out the other fits and then we'll try them all on. One of the other bands, artists, well, no, that's a band that I will never see live. I've seen him in other things, but I've never seen Frank Iero in the Celebration. I've seen Frank Iero live in different settings in different bands, but I've never seen the Celebration. So I think that could be really fun. I know that they're like inactive. But when I think Frank Iero in the Celebration, I think pink. I guess I can put these back. But I think pink. So I think we have to go pink, maybe pink and gray, because that is like the color scheme of Stomachache. So I think we need to go pink. I also like the idea of like one thing Frank Iero does really well in all of his work is kind of lean into like the stereotypical hardcore aesthetic. And one of those things is Docs. I'm not like being paid to say this, you know what I mean? I just really do like look at that. You can tell I wear that to a show and I just never cleaned them. I don't know which show, but I never cleaned them. But I think the pink Docs will be our go-to or our starting point, our jumping off point, if you will. I may even go like monochromatic pink. So I've worn this shirt with these Docs many times because it's almost the same color, and I don't actually have a lot of tops that match these perfectly, so I'll set it to the side because I've worn it a lot, and it does feel like cheating. But that is a contender because I think it's a possibility. I also have all of my skirts and shorts behind where my camera is, so I may have to like pause, run back there and see what I can grab because I have to like knock things over to get over there. I did grab a couple things from over there. I kind of wanted to like see what works with the shoes because I do think the shoes are a good choice. I think a boot is like my ideal concert shoe. I know for some people it's sneakers, and I get that and I respect that. But I do not need support. My feet are basically flat anyway, and they're not uncomfortable being that way. I don't know why. But I don't need like arch support. So what I'm looking for is like protection from being stepped on, and a place where I can throw my wallet if the band doesn't offer a tote. And boots are it. Boots are my go-to. So I'm gonna stick with the Docs for this concert that doesn't exist and will never happen. And then I am going to, so I didn't pull it out for this one. I pulled it out for this because I think the gray fits the stomach aches vibe, right? So my thought is I go with the pink docs and then I do the gray, like it's an ultra mini. It's very little. But this one with this, and then what will I layer underneath? Because that is mesh. And I don't just want my nipples out. Would go gray. Is this the same shade of gray? If it is, yeah. I think it is. Hold on. Let me hold it in the light. It's not, but it's close. May go with this one. I have a sports bra that's like long line and it's gray and black leopard print. That might be really cool. And then, should I do a sock? I kind of don't want to like lean into black for this fit because I think that like it truly does not. Well, I guess I have black on my boots, but if I have black with the sports bra too, then like I think that ties it in enough, you know? I think they'll work. I have these Emily the Strange socks that I bought on Depop in 2020 and I rarely worn because they're not like comfortable. But I think they might be pretty cool. I don't know. I have these sheer Dior tights that I thrifted. They're not very comfortable because they don't have a lot of stretch. I think they might be really, really cool under there. So tights, I think, actually are not a horrible choice as long as you're not worried about the venue. The Live Nation venues, they probably have AC budgets through the roof, dude. I've never been hot at a House of Blues show. Depending on the venue, tights are a yes or a no. And also depending on the time of year. You know, it's October here, but it's still very hot. But if it were like November, I'd probably risk it. In fact, I've worn pants and long sleeves to November shows. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my Franca Euro fit. I probably will make some adjustments whenever I try it on, see how things look and see how things fit all together because I'm not sure how those tights are gonna work with the low rise mini skirt and the sports bra, but we will see. Next up, one of my favorite bands ever is Babes in Toyland, and obviously I am not seeing Babes in Toyland live. It would be so cool if I could, but I know that I cannot. And when I think Babes in Toyland, I think Kinderhore. I think got this thing that follows me around, and it's probably wearing this. I think this is like a must. I have to. If I ever had the opportunity to see Babes in Toyland, I have no doubt that this is what I would wear. Oh, this is definitely what I'm going to wear. It is vintage lingerie, and I did thrift it with tags. I don't think it was worn. And I don't think that the cheeks are low enough for me to feel comfortable wearing it out. So I probably would layer it maybe like with a skirt. I don't think this is the choice I would make, but let me see what they look like layered together. I have this vintage Victoria's Secret baby doll that is gold label. Look, I used to work at Victoria's Secret and I know a lot about the brand history because I am a nerd. And I know that gold label is old as hell. So I wouldn't always advise wearing lingerie to a show, but I do think like something like Babes in Toyland, it would probably be all old people, right? And also, it would be a massive venue. Oh, I love this actually because I can pull the lace out. That is so cute. And then I think underneath I probably would just put a pair of shorts. Which shoes would I wear? That's so cute. I'm such a genius. I would probably wear black shorts underneath. And that makes me think like black tights too. I think black lace ties with that and then like a black boot. Because if I'm wearing black shorts, then I think the black lace tights kind of tie it in. I'm not sure I have a pair of shoes that would fit in with like the pinks other than platforms. And like I said, I don't really like to wear platforms to shows. I kind of like, in theory, that. I think that is really cool. I also think that's very Babes in Toyland. But it would depend on the venue whether I was wearing something like this. If it was standing room only, I definitely would not. If you were in seats, maybe. And I think I'm going to try them on with it just to see. But if it was standing room only, I'm not wearing these because one, they're too delicate. Two, I would get highly uncomfortable in this pointy toe and heel because they're kind of hard. Like the sole is hard. The sole is hard, and I know that they are because I've worn them like to work and stuff. But if I wasn't wearing these, I probably would do maybe my Harley boots. I do think that kind of adds like a weight that is needed to work with the Kinderhorse style. So I think my Harley boots would be my backup. I'm going to try them on with both though. But yeah, let's go ahead and try my three little fits on and kind of talk through like why I think they would work for a show. Hello. It's actually the next day, but I'm coming to you here with the people, well, no, not People Are Ugly outfit, gym shorts. I'm wearing a People Are Ugly shirt, but this outfit is the outfit that I would wear to see gym shorts. One thing that I do usually do for shows is go light on accessories, but I figured the vibe is always going to be different. But because Gym Shorts is more of a punk band, I think that their vibe would be a little bit more chill. Because, yeah, punk shows are all about moshing, but people are way more respectful of like your space at a punk show versus like, I don't know, like Drain. I almost died seeing Drain. Like I said, I've actually seen Gym Shorts live and I know the vibe of the crowd. So I feel like this is not a stretch like the bandana I have going on. I don't know if you can see it, but I tried. However, this is something I could see myself taking off throughout the night, especially if I decided to mosh. Um, but I wouldn't be that worried about it. If anything, I would be more worried about like wearing white to a show knowing that I'm probably going to have beer spilled on me. And then I did decide to add a belt. I've never had issues with belts setting off metal detectors. I think I've already said that, but I do think like that's something to keep in mind is that some venues may, have ultra sensitive metal detectors. You may have a really sketchy belt. I have seen belt chains set off metal detectors. Actually, I've seen that happen often. And some venues don't even allow chains at all. Keep that in mind. I actually think these pants are made to have chains on them, and they may have come with them. I thrifted them, so I don't know. But I wouldn't wear chains to a show generally because you're either not going to be allowed to have them in or it's going to be a pain in the ass. Okay, so second outfit was Frank Iero in the Celebration. Couple things to note: I never go to a show without wearing shorts under a skirt or dress. Actually, I rarely go anywhere without wearing shorts under a skirt or a dress. But even with the shorts on underneath, that other skirt that I tried on was just way too short for at least a show. It would be cute, like for pictures or something. So I ended up switching skirts, but lucky for me, I still have a gray pleated skirt because I have too many clothes. I switched skirts and then I did go ahead and ditch the tights. I just didn't like how they looked like with either of the skirts. So I ditched the tights, I switched skirts, but other than that, this is totally something I would wear to a show. I know that like the rosary is not the best bet for a show. I'm well aware of that, and it is something I could see myself taking off if I decided to mosh. But I have a feeling that like Frankie Iero in the Celebration probably is not a moshing show. I don't doubt that there would be like a single pit, but I don't think it would be like you're gonna get pushed into a pit. I don't think it's that show. And also, this rosary is very special to me because I found it in an abandoned house. And I haven't mentioned hair at all in this entire video. I usually wear my hair down and regret it. Not even because people are spilling things on you or puking on you or sweating on you or pulling your hair. All of those things happen. But I just hate having to brush out the knots from like headbanging and like just like making my hair insanely knotty afterwards. Hi, little sister. Probably I wouldn't do what I have going on with my hair right now. I would suggest wearing your hair up if it's long or it tangles easily. That's the word I'm looking for. This might be the coolest outfit I've ever put on my body. It's probably one of my favorites, even if it's not cool to you. It is one of my favorite outfits I've ever put on my body. This is the Babes in Toyland outfit. It's very Babes in Toyland, and it's very like fun. I just think this is so cool. I ended up, instead of the black shorts, I remembered I had like some pink ruffly pajama shorts that are almost the exact same shade of pink as the bodysuit. So I went with that. And then I tried on the rhinestone boots, which, first of all, like I said before, I would never really wear to a show anyway. But I also just didn't love them. It just didn't fit the vibe perfectly. The way that my vintage Harleys do. Did not dress at all for a pit. I'm wearing like dangly necklaces and everything. And also this is lingerie on top of lingerie. In reality, it would need a lot of adjusting and potentially become like translucent if it were to like get wet or have a beer or vomit or water spilled on it. I know once upon a time Babes in Toyland had rowdy shows. It's probably, if I had to guess, not the case anymore because who the hell is going to waste their time at a look, okay, I don't think moshing is a waste of time. But if you're at a Babes in Toyland show, if Babes in Toyland is back together, you're telling me you're gonna sit there and mosh? No, you're gonna be sitting there looking up at Cat Yelland like this, myself included. And that's why I'm wearing a long rosary. The end.